Hello and welcome to Shamullahcast. You have a choice of listening to 750,000 other podcasts, and we thank you for listening to us. My name is Fairburn, and I'm joined by Josh and our research man Frank. And today we're talking about The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is the Disney animated film based on the novel by Victor Hugo. Okay, so Josh, what do you think?
I'm going to be honest with you, I really don't care for this movie, and which is weird because growing up I really thought I enjoyed it, but there are so many things, they're not even bad about this movie, I just don't care. It just has no relevance to me. Most things just don't go anywhere. You know, I like Frollo as a villain. In fact, I'd say he's one of my favourite Disney villains, if not one of the best villains of all time when it comes to all media. But it just feels quite lacklustre, especially compared to all the other films in Disney Renaissance, and you can really tell that this came at the tail end of the Renaissance, to be honest.
Yeah, I used to think this is one of Disney's stronger films. I used to think it was quite underrated. Watching it back again for this episode, I thought kind of the same. The first two acts I thought were really, really strong. I loved how grand and epic everything is. The score is sweeping, do you know what I mean? The animation is stunning, but I think after Act 2 it kind of loses its steam.
Yeah, I'd say so. But the soundtrack for me, like you said, the score itself, I find the operatics all throughout the movie is amazing. But you know, the actual songs, so you know, the actual heart of the movie, half of them, well, I say half, no, pretty much everything other than Hellfire kind of just felt underwhelming to me. I was just listening to it thinking, I just don't care. And I don't know why that is. I don't know whether it's the performances. I don't know whether it's because I wasn't engrossed in the movie. I don't know. But the thing is, though, I'll watch something like Lion King, which isn't my favourite Disney movie, but I'll get a vibe going, I'll dance along, I'll have a sing-along. But with this, it just failed to provoke a reaction from me, be that negative or positive. It just did nothing for me whatsoever.
That's interesting. It's probably like it's probably like the red-headed stepchild of Disney films, because especially of that era, because like you said, that, you know, Lion King, something for example, that's got a lot of emotional beats, but that's also got a lot of like catchy songs. This isn't, you know, I really like the soundtrack. There's nothing really catchy about this, or you know, anything you could dance to, for example. But I suppose the only emotional reaction I got was just shock. I was just shocked at how evil Frollo was. Yeah.
Like I said, Frollo's like the thing I enjoyed about this movie, and they really push that he is evil.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that he isn't just a mustache twirling villain, as people like to say nowadays. He is just blatantly evil. Like, it's not like he's like, I've got this evil plan. No, he's like, I want to get this bird, and if I don't get this bird, I'm going to kill everyone.
Yeah. I think what makes him interesting though and compelling is that he's a man of God, and he truly believes that what he's doing is right. He thinks that the world is full of sin. He thinks that everyone is blasphemous. Everyone deserves punishment. He wants to commit genocide, which I think that's the only thing about his character I thought, well, that wasn't really explained or developed well enough.
He just, I suppose it's entitlement and what he's been brainwashed to think. It's like most people's hatred towards religion anyway comes on the fact that they believe that people are indoctrinated and brought up to believe in a certain way, and I imagine the same thing happened to him, I suppose. Yeah. But then on the polar opposite side, you have the priest or the father that was inside of the chapel, who is also a man of God.
Yeah, I like that there was a
massive
strong parallel.
Exactly, and you know, he's on the polar opposite, so to speak. And then you got Frollo, who's like, no, kill all the gypsies. Why? Yeah. Because God thinks they're dirty. Yeah. How do you know that, Frollo? Well, God told me, of course. How do we know that's true? Because I'm just telling you, so you have to accept that, wouldn't you?
It's quite interesting because in the book, I haven't read the book myself, but I looked a lot up about it, and I know even in the musical version of this film that I think he's still evil, but he's got a bit more humanity to him. Like in the book, I know that he's got a younger brother,
right,
who has like alcoholism problems. He's like a bit of an addict, bit of a bum, basically, and you know, he's always giving him money, and he's always trying to, like, you know, come over here, don't be such a bum, basically, you know what I mean? He's trying to help him, but his brother turns on him ultimately because he's a bum, and you know.
So you could say, really, it's a creature of circumstance in the book, really, in the sense that, you know, he wasn't just born a bastard. Things have maybe happened to, you know, make him a bit more of a three-dimensional villain rather than just looking at this poor deformed child and going, oh, I'm going to kill this child.
Yeah.
Why? Because it's ugly, obviously.
And I've murdered the shit out of his fucking mother.
So viciously, and then not even like look at her body, just go, well, the priest will do that, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even then though, right, it goes to show, like we said, he is a bit one-dimensional in this, but he is still the best part. But that goes to show, if he's kind of one-dimensional, then how bad is everybody else?
Yeah, I don't... It's hard, because I don't think they're bad characters, I don't think they're written badly, okay, maybe they are written badly. I just think that there's not much substance. Do you know what I mean? Quasimodo is like, I get it. He's meant to be like an angel, but he's got like a devil or deformed body or something. You know what I mean? It's meant to be about the purity within and stuff like that. But like, he's boring.
He is really boring, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I was thinking this while watching it around the beginning of the third act or even the end of the second. Quasimodo doesn't feel like a protagonist. And I don't mean like he doesn't look like a generic protagonist. I mean like he genuinely suffers from a lack of screen time in this movie, in my opinion, which would have given him more to do, more development. So when you think about it, is it everybody within Paris itself that is seen as like, is this the character, the group of them? Are they all the protagonists? Like, I don't know what they're trying to push across here.
I think the problem is they've got Phoebus, the captain of the guards, who is, if you did any other Disney movie, he would be the lead, let's be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, actually.
And I think they're trying to develop a romance with him and Esmeralda, as they should, because, that's following the book, and then obviously Quasimodo is the protagonist. But I think they're trying to juggle all three of them at one time, because you've got to set up Esmeralda, because she is, she's a lot of the emotional part of the story as well, and you've got to, you've got to juggle Quasi and then Phoebus, and then make a love triangle, and then a relationship, and then I think it just kind of gets caught up a bit. In some countries, actually, I don't know them off the top of my head, I just remember reading this at some point, that the play is actually called Esmeralda. Oh, okay. And
because people have always agreed that she is basically the best character in this story, and be that in theatrical form, be that in book form, literature even. But I see that though, and I feel like the reason why this movie suffered is because it's a 90-minute runtime. I'm not saying a Disney movie should be 2 hours long, but it's a 90-minute runtime. The book, I imagine, was significantly
girthy.
I'm going to say it's girthy. And, the book obviously is, like you said, is contrasting so much from the movie. Like Disney has this sort of family-friendly poster child kind of look to everything, and they need to push that into their formula, and they couldn't do that. So they've just taken the name and some of the characters and butchered them to make them their own versions of those characters.
I think it's hard to adapt a story like this without going fully into it. I think it's quite amazing that it exists anyway, do you know what I mean?
I'm in shock, actually.
But I think they should have just gone for it, because the result, it's not an awful movie, but it's got a lot of tonal issues. And I think you know what I mean when I say the gargoyles.
Oh, I just don't understand why the gargoyles... Well, I do understand why the gargoyles are in the movie, actually. They probably thought the movie is too serious for families and children, and they thought, let's stick these comedic gargoyles in. Yeah. Why? Because the genie is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the genie works for the tone of Aladdin.
Yeah.
The gargoyles don't work at all for
we got Robin Williams for Aladdin. Let's get, Jason Alexander for... It's like, doesn't work, though. And not for a story like this.
No, it really doesn't. And they kind of prod the idea of them being inside Quasimodo's head, but they never go into it though.
Yeah,
they imply it at the beginning, and then they kind of go, these aren't in his head, these are actual living gargoyles.
I think they would have got away with. Well, I think they would have. It would have paid off a lot more if, towards the end, maybe in that big climatic scene, maybe it cuts to them and they're just stationary, don't move or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not even that scene, but at least one point it shows, they're in his head. I would have minded that, because it adds depth to him.
They're not in his head in some scenes, like when Quasi is basically laying over Esmeralda's, what we assume is dead corpse at that point.
Yeah.
And they're in the background moving. Now, of course, if they were in his head, then they wouldn't be moving without him looking at them, obviously. Yeah. So I think
it's just Disney magic.
Yeah,
it's just good old-fashioned Disney magic.
It just felt so lazy to me, and there's so many missed opportunities in this, and I feel like, again, they could have gone into his psychology. And I get it. I get it. It's a Disney movie, and they can't go too deep into these things. Kids are watching this. And they do dive into religion and how it can corrupt some people, and the good part is that they're not dissing religion, are they? They're making a point that some people use religion as an excuse to do whatever they want.
It gives a good argument for both, because you have people like Frollo on the one hand, who are very real. I think that's why Frollo is so good as well. Because,
I'd say so.
Let's be honest, there's a lot of people like but you have that really nice song with Esmeralda when she saw God help the outcast, and she says Jesus was an outcast as well, and you have the priest, and it shows that there is a nicer side to religion. Albeit it may not be all the time, but like some people have faith, and that's what keeps them going.
Exactly, there are two sides to it. There are people that make religion look bad, and then in turn make the entire religion look bad. Well, you've got the other side, like the priest, like you said, who is there giving out the kind hand and teaching people what this religion is meant to be, like you said, hope and so on. Well, Frollo's using that as an excuse to go, no, I want to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
I want to purify the world with fire and death.
Yeah, quite literally fire and death.
Hellfire, one would say. Anyway.
Yeah.
What did you think about the direction, though? Like, what did you think about the way this movie was directed? Did you know the guys that did Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
They made a deal with Disney. They wanted to make Atlantis.
Right.
And Disney said, no, we're not, you're not doing this, but if you can prove to us that you can make a movie successful, we'll let you do it. So I thought before the deal was 3 movies, apparently it was 2. So they made Beauty and the Beast, obviously that was a massive hit.
Yeah.
To be fair, this was a pretty big hit,
Yeah,
It made $325 million on a budget of 70, which is fucking substantial, isn't it?
Oh, it is amazing.
So they said, go and make Atlantis, but obviously there are so many rumours that movie was sabotaged before it even came out by Disney. Because it was pushing a completely new kind of like storytelling kind of vibe going on, but there's also rumours. Obviously, they sabotaged Treasure Planet, which was in a similar boat.
Oh, right, that's interesting.
To Atlantis. So I don't know. I'm quite surprised. I was quite surprised though. Like when I first started researching this a while ago, that they did Atlantis as well, because they feel completely different. Like, that's what makes me think about, like, Beauty and the Beast feels like they thought, okay, we'll use this deal to our advantage, we'll make a good movie, and then we'll make another good movie. With this, it feels like they came to the end of their tether, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
They kind of just turned around and thought, alright, we'll make a run-of-the-mill Disney movie, and hopefully it'll make money, and if it does, we can make our movie. I think that's what it felt like to me.
I always find it interesting when studios sabotage their own films, because it just makes me think, like, are you allergic to money and success?
No, it's not fair, is it, really?
No, because you've hired all these creatives. Clearly they care about it, so why wouldn't you just let them do what they want?
I suppose it's because they felt like they had no control in this, because I think it was written down somewhere, which meant obviously they were contractually obligated to follow that. If they made 2 successful movies for them, their third movie together would be the one that they were like, right, we'll let you do whatever you want, we can't have any control, and obviously they don't like that, do they? Because it's scary to them, they have no idea what they're doing. The thing is, I don't actually know how successful Atlantis was, to be honest with you.
No. I suppose I'll need its own episode.
But I hope so, actually, because I really enjoy that movie. But I believe they were successful in the sense that I believe it's the best movie they've made of the 3. I would say Atlantis is better than this and better than Beauty and the Beast, in my opinion.
I would probably agree. I'm not too sure. I haven't watched that in a long time.
Oh, we'll have to watch it for this actually then. But I really enjoy it. It is really good. It's got Michael J. Fox in it.
You can't go wrong.
Exactly. Just after Back to the Future, obviously. So just before he sadly started to decay. Before he decided to sadly become somebody else. It's not fair, really.
Frog, is there anything you specifically feel about this film?
I'll be honest, I really enjoyed watching it. Like, I know obviously Josh said you wasn't a fan, and you are a bit indifferent.
Yeah.
But I quite enjoyed watching it. It was a nice story. Obviously, it's way different than the book.
Oh, Christ, yeah.
But I must say I'm a sucker for a little romance.
It is sweet. Like, like I said, I do enjoy I enjoy Esmeralda. I enjoy, like, that side that they keep their faith and stuff, and as a kid I was quite surprised that, obviously looking back now I'm not so surprised, but as a kid I was quite surprised that Esmeralda and Quasimodo didn't hook up, because like that always usually happens, doesn't it?
I'm glad they diverted there actually.
I'm glad as well.
That was a nice little not really a twist, but it was a nice change to the Disney formula, I suppose. I did actually like how fluid the animation was, which, for 90s Disney isn't really saying much. That's what you expect at that point, don't you? But you still can't pretend it's not there. It's still great.
Oh, it's stunning. I love I love just looking at Paris and looking at the buildings and stuff. And you know what? That's actually doing a service to the book. Because Victor Hugo, well, at the time he was writing Hunchback, a lot of like Gothic cathedrals and architecture in France were being destroyed, and he was really passionate about that. So in the book, there's like a lot of unnecessary descriptions of how the buildings look, because that's how he felt about it. That he loved them so much. He was like, well, I'm going to make a point about this to keep them, because like this is France to me.
Speaking of that, this was the second Disney movie to blend CGI into the animation.
Yeah.
Other than Lion King, obviously, but they I think the scenes towards the end where Quasi is carrying Esmeralda on the cathedral itself.
Yeah.
That CGI, and you know what? Actually, it actually looks really good. Like you can see it's different, but it's not ugly different. It's nice. It kind of blends in a bit. The lighting looks perfect.
It's not too jarring, is it?
No.
You can tell, but it's not taking you out of it.
It's nice in a way, actually. Yeah. It kind of makes the cathedral itself feel more grand, like it's alive, even, which I'd say is overused. Like some people will say things like, "Oh, the building is its own character," but genuinely, the cathedral does feel like its own character.
No, France generally does feel like its own character in this. Like, they talk about Paris and stuff, they make it look huge and
it's sprawling. And,
yes,
and you know what's more fucked about that though? Then you think, okay, so Frollo has complete control over this entire city, and I just it's not really explained why. I know he's the judge, right? But he has an entire personal army that will do anything for him.
Yeah, I don't really get what is going on with that. I'm not gonna lie, I've never understood this.
He's just like the sheriff of Nottingham on steroids.
Yeah,
like, blatantly.
Yeah, he is. He's just, I've got all the power of the world and there's nothing you can do about it. But why?
Well, I suppose you could say it's like absolute power corrupts absolutely.
I know, but what power?
How did he get this power?
Where's the...
Where did he start?
Yeah, where did it come from? Who gave him this power?
I don't know. Was it the King of France?
Yeah, I was going to say, where is the king?
Everyone hates Frollo. They all throw him by the end anyway.
Don't you think that like the king would have seen fucking Paris burning and be like...
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, maybe not.
Sacre bleu,
Instead they thought, no, let's not put this man in horny jail. Let's leave him burn our capital down to the ground.
It is quite amazing how Frollo just wants to commit genocide just because he's got a bit of a rock on.
Literally though. It's like, right, if you don't sleep with me, I'm going to kill every single one of you people.
I'm literally going to slaughter you.
And I have no problem with that. Why? Because I'm evil.
Yeah.
He goes, alright, it's either me or the fire. I love how she spits in his face. I think it's fantastic, actually. And he turns around and he's there, well, the fire it is then. It's not like a part of him is there like, oh, I was joking, really. I didn't expect you to do that.
He's like, you fucked it.
And he's Frollo, not Frollo, sorry, again, Quasimodo's adopted son chained up to the cathedral to make him watch, and he's got all the other gypsies in cages, and he's like, alright, you're not going to watch it, pay them down.
You're going to think, like, right, take it down a notch.
What did he think would happen if she agreed, though? What would they have done? Turns out, everyone, right, it's alright, she's a lovely lady, you have to get to know her first.
Yeah. Like, I know, but you've still killed her parents and her family and her friends.
And he turns around like Michael Jackson and does like the Thriller eyes, he looks at it. Speaking of it, did you know he was nearly in this?
Michael Jackson?
He wanted to do pretty much all of the singing.
Wait, what?
Yeah, genuine.
No.
He nearly got... Well, I say he nearly got... No, he didn't actually... Somebody else nearly got it, right? Yeah. I'm not going to say just yet. I'm going to save that bit.
Okay.
But he was petitioning like he did for so many roles in the 90s and 80s.
He tried to buy Marvel outright.
Yeah, just to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He wanted to sing pretty much all the soundtrack, which I was like, he's great, but not really the vibe for this, is it? But you know who nearly sung...
Prince was in Batman.
Yeah, but that works, though. That works.
I mean, they're good songs.
Yeah, they're amazing songs.
You know, you're and then Spider-Man. It doesn't quite. Anyway,
I don't know. It kind of blends because Joker's a bit wacky, crazy, isn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
Bruce Wayne isn't the party man, is he?
Well, he's half Bruce, he's half Batman, half Joker. Do you not remember the music?
But I was saying that right. He petitioned for the role, but do you know who genuinely was given the part, but then they decided someone else was better?
No.
Meatloaf was going to sing Quasimodo's songs.
Really?
Genuinely.
Frog, that's some good news for you.
That is some good news for me. I really wish he'd done it now.
Do you know Tony J that voiced Frollo?
Yeah.
He was singing the songs, obviously, and he was quite old at the time.
Yeah.
And he asked them to bring down one of the ending to Hellfire down by a key because he couldn't hit the note.
Yeah.
And they just said no.
Wait, what?
They just blatantly said no. They were like, "You're gonna hit that eventually."
So they just tortured this poor
They
old man.
were like, take some singing lessons, so they made him take singing lessons.
That's terrible. He's worked.
And then he died.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Killed it.
Oh!
No, we got it. Just cut there.
He's just got X's for eyes and his tongue sticking out.
And there's just so many little things that make me laugh with this. Most of them regarding Frollo again, which is the best part of the movie. Like
he is undoubtedly the best.
His
part of
horse looks like a member of My Chemical Romance.
He looks like a member of My Chemical Romance. He's got a fringe and a long black robe.
He looks like a skeleton, which I suppose could be symbolism for death. I suppose you really want to go in that deep.
Yeah.
Or maybe stretching it a bit thin there, like his cheekbones are a bit stretched. I love how, the priest is like, right, raise this child. He's like, okay, right, fair enough. And he's like, no, but it's got to be here though.
He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm not having in my house.
He's like, he's stinky. I don't want him here.
I do really enjoy that. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this baby, and the guy's like, you do that, right? God's watching you. You kill that woman. He's like, oh,
and he looks around on the statues like, we're watching you.
Like we've seen that, man. He's like,
right, okay. I'll just...
Right.
And also, right, cause he's 20 years of age, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
He just doesn't feel 20 years of age. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, do you think he's older? Do you think he's
I feel like he's like 27, 28. I don't know. I know that's not a big pet peeve, but like he's not. I can't.
Don't you dare make fun of his deformity.
That's I know. Watch me. No, I'll make fun of how he's freakishly old looking, considering. I don't know. He just radiates someone who's been locked in there a bit longer.
Yeah, no, I do know what you mean. Yeah,
like he doesn't feel like his early 20s. Like I don't know, and I like the fact he's meant to feel whimsical, I suppose.
Yeah, I was gonna say he gives off that he's older, but his personality feels like he's a bit younger. I would say,
which I suppose will come along with the deformities, though, couldn't it? He's quite naive. Like maybe he's mentally impaired as well.
He doesn't really have social experience apart from Frollo and the gargoyles.
Yeah, so I assume maybe he doesn't know. Yeah, they all know he's there though. Like, oh, it's Quasimodo, the guy from the bells.
Yeah, that's true.
So how do people know this? Then do they look up there one day and he just weave in?
You see his ginger hair swinging off.
Sanctuary. We're like, all right. Maybe we'll give you a chance.
You know what that reminds me? Actually, that brings me into a point I wanted to make. The topsy-turvy scene. I thought it was really annoying.
I was
severely annoyed by it. Like,
was it the Festival of Fools?
Yeah, Festival of Fools.
Oh, I thought it was topsy. Same thing. Yeah, you know what I mean. Oh no, the song is topsy-turvy, but it's the Festival of Fools. Yeah, you are right.
Again, no. I was thinking to myself while watching that. I was like, okay, this is meant to be making me feel a bit funky, but I was like, again, I just don't care.
I thought it was obnoxious.
It was just, you know what? I hate that guy. The guy who's
Clopin.
Yes,
I hate him as well. I was going to say that.
Yeah.
He's lazy, he's stupid. But okay, so he's telling the story, yeah?
But he tries to kill them.
I just, oh my...
He goes to hang them later on. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And then he's like, oh, these are my mates.
These are my spies, man.
Yeah.
Well, in the book, I think he's meant to be Esmeralda's uncle.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I think that's one thing I do know about the book.
Yeah.
And that kind of like, kind of shows why they have a decent relationship and everything. And, but like, in this, again, he's just there.
Yeah, he's just
comic relief again.
But he's not. Yeah, you've got like what? So there's like three or four gargoyles. Three gargoyles and him
and the goat
and the guards. That's
something pulled me out in that scene actually. You know what? Right, one of the guards is blatantly Patrick Star.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it really bothered me. I don't know why.
It distracted me as well.
He was like, "Watch this! I'm gonna throw this." It's
we can't do it, but like you get the point.
It's just not fair, though, is it? It's just like, this is stupid.
And I thought the townspeople turned on Quasi. I don't know how you two feel, but I thought they turned on him very quickly. I thought it didn't make sense. They throw it like, they love him, they hail him as one of their own, they know who he is.
Oh, they weren't. I think it was meant to show like mob mentality and the fact that they weren't doing it because they hate him. They were just mocking him.
Yeah, I know, but like they accepted him. I don't know. It felt very jarring to me. Anyway, I don't know how it was for you two, but that's how I felt. I felt like I can see what they were trying to do, but I felt like it was a bit clumsy.
Yeah, it can be in places. Like I said, that's a lot of the reasons why I mostly dislike this movie. And again, the thing is, I don't think this is a bad movie. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I love Disney. I love musicals. It's just this
Yeah.
just doesn't do it for me. And there's a lot of symbolism in this, which I actually do like.
Yeah.
You know, it's touched upon quite well. Like when Frollo dies, I suppose that could be taken as him. You know, not only is he literally falls into hellfire.
Yeah,
something there.
Yeah, that is good. But I don't understand. Did that statue come alive, or was that? Just
I think that was
delusion?
in his own mind.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's delusion.
I hope because right.
Otherwise, hell confirmed in Disney.
Yeah. Well, tune the ball, I suppose.
James Woods' Hades is there waiting for him when he arrives.
Hey, how you doing?
And he's just like, oh my.
The soundtrack kicks it again.
And then, right, one thing I remember watching as a kid, right? I think I watched it before I watched this one, and liked it more. I haven't watched it in
You see the sequel to this.
I was going to say the sequel.
Oh,
yeah.
you.
I know nothing.
stupid
I know
bastard.
nothing about it though.
Right.
I know nothing.
Out.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything other than like the Esmeralda and is it Fabius or
Fearless.
I call him
Mobius
chair.
Mobius, the Sonic Planet.
They Morbin time. They have a kid.
Dr. Michael.
They have a kid.
Yeah, they have a kid. Yeah, right. So basically, in the bell that Quasimodo rings, this is the story now.
Do they make sexy love inside the bell?
No, there's hidden jewels.
There's hidden cameras inside the bell.
Fake bell ring. Fake chapel. No, there's hidden jewels in the bell, and somehow this thief halfway across France knows about it. So him and this bird decide, right, we're gonna go and steal those jewels and become stinking rich. So they go, and then he gets
Why is there jewels in the bell?
I don't know.
It's like the Bell of Love or something.
So is the
course
bell
it would be, wouldn't
encrusted, or like is there a bag of gems?
No, it's like
duct taped?
encrusted. They're literally like in the inside.
Why has no one done this before?
How does this guy know? But anyway, him and his...
It's like a fucking sea glistening to the other side of Paris, mate.
How is strong is... I almost called him Toby. Causey to fucking ring the bells of the major jewels. I know he's strong, but he's not that strong. He's like 4'8".
Have you seen in the first one, like the giant bell? I can't remember the name of it, but it's literally like half the size of the entire building.
Yeah.
Like, how was he ringing it?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Have you seen those arms?
I know, but
He's on
like you say, he's like 4'8".
Yeah, have you seen his testosterone levels, boy? He's
He was built, to
massive
be
bloke.
fair. He was built. But anyway, he sends this villain, evil guy now, sends his lady accomplice to go and chat up Quasi, and then it's the typical liar reveal. They fall in love, but she's evil, and they can't be together.
You betrayed me. She's like, but actually, I fell in love with you.
Yeah, exactly. And then they turn on the guy, and he gets thrown in jail or something.
Hello, I Stuart Little too.
Yeah.
Basically, it's the same plot.
And it's really bad.
Do you know what I didn't like about the second one though? Is how they went back with the animation. It all looks hand drawn.
Yeah,
but that's because it's straight to DVD though, isn't it?
It was, and it was a different studio that did it. Disney didn't do it, I don't think.
Well, they outsourced it, did they?
Yeah, it was a Japanese studio, and I can't remember the name. And I think they do a lot of anime. That's why it doesn't look that well, because obviously Disney's very fluid and they move a lot, and anime they don't as much.
Well,
at least older anime they don't.
Well, now we're on the topic, actually. Fuck it, let's talk about this. I wasn't going to, but we're on topic now. Disney straight-to-DVD sequels, opinions. Good ones, bad ones, do you like them overall?
No, I don't like them.
I like A Hunchback's Big Adventure, that's pretty good, I think.
I haven't seen that, but I like 102.
That's pretty much the only one I like.
Yeah.
The rest of them are just awful.
Lion King 2's okay.
I was going to say, I haven't seen a lot, but like I've seen enough of them to know that they look bad.
Actually, is it Lion King
1.5?
1.5, yeah, it was just Timon and Pumbaa.
Alright, that's
cute. That's quite funny, isn't it, actually?
That is cute. They do a mystery science theatre, whatever it's called.
Yeah, they're just talking, they're doing a commentary. They're doing a random commentary.
Well, you know what, Lion King 2 is alright. I like how they try to adapt Romeo and Juliet instead of Hamlet, because
they're following the Shakespeare situation.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool, I like that. Mulan 2, that's not very great.
No, it's not.
They did not get down to business.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't even get Eddie Murphy back to business.
I'll tell you what I'll tell you what I didn't really care for. All the sequel was Little Mermaid, and everyone loves the Little Mermaid.
No, I've actually seen them, and I didn't like that.
I don't really like either of them. I don't know what it is. They're both just mediocre again, though. I don't know what it is. It's something about.
They have like 2 sequels, don't they?
Oh well, they better not.
I'm not sure.
I'm hoping you're wrong. To be honest with you.
I'll tell you what. Sequel I don't mind is Aladdin King of Thieves, but that's the third.
Oh, you know what? Actually,
it's all right.
You know what?
They got Robin Williams back with that one as well.
This might just be nostalgia for me. I'm going to be honest with you, but I do like the Aladdin sequels because I had both of them on VHS tape.
Yeah, I think I had the second one on VHS.
And I distinctly remember rewatching them all the time.
I like the second one because Dan Castellaneta is cast as Genie, and obviously he's Homer. I like him for that.
Okay, so you're biased then.
I am, but yeah.
His opinion is now invalid.
Yeah.
Anything to do with The Simpsons.
Don't listen to
invalid.
this. I don't mind it. It's got his moments. It's obviously they're not the first one. Let's be honest, but you know they work.
They've got the same characters, I suppose. Isn't it? And luckily they got some amazing voice acting prowess to do the Genie instead. They could have ended up getting someone who's just trying to impersonate Robin Williams,
which is what they've got now.
Wait, what?
Yeah, well, in like Kingdom Hearts and stuff.
No.
Yeah, they got a Robin Williams.
I thought you were going to say something like Will Smith was trying to impersonate. I was like, well, I don't think he did a very good job there, to be honest.
You would have thought they'd do something like they did with Don Rickles in the newest Toy Story.
Oh, is that when they
They got little clips and audios, like the outtakes and everything, and they just stitched it all together for him.
That's good. I mean, they've got enough with Robin. They've got like 16 hours from the first one alone.
Well, that's plenty.
Yeah, that's like four more sequels.
They basically did that with Darth Vader in the Obi-Wan series.
Really?
Yeah. Obviously, people are getting very upset about James Earl Jones's voice, changing as he's getting older.
But he's like, what, 92?
I don't know. He's around that. He's
something like 92.
He was old when he did the original Vader voice.
Yeah.
And they built a soundboard essentially of all the things that he said. And no, it's not even a soundboard; it's an AI actually.
Fuck me, that's advanced.
So it kind of like
I thought it was him.
Well, it's Disney money, isn't it?
Yeah, Disney magic, isn't it?
Disney magic, which just means money.
Yeah.
As you can tell, we're talking about Disney movies quite a bit lately, and like Disney properties, or now acquired Disney.
Well, there's half a cinematic landscape now. Disney.
There's monopoly laws, but apparently they don't contradict any of those. Apparently, so
because they've bought Monopoly.
Yeah, they have. They've bought the Monopoly man. He's next. He's next to go.
Yeah.
What's next? The Pringle guy. Like the same guy, anyway.
They're probably related.
They're brothers.
Yeah.
They're blood brothers. One thing I did like about this, going back to the animation and stuff, I really liked, considering Quasi's deformities, how effortlessly he moved around the cathedral.
Yeah.
Like, it made me really feel like he's been there all his life.
Yeah,
and he feels at home.
He knows the
completely.
ins and outs and stuff, yeah.
And he moved quite like he didn't even move like a human, actually, as a matter of fact. It was quite like spiritual. I would say spiritual. I don't know how to explain it, but quite like a ghost, even. Like, we just kind of hovered and levitated.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And it was nuts, but I really liked that, though.
No, it's
As opposed to the way Frollo walks around, and he's very, hoity-toity, like you're showing me right now, basically.
Stick up his ass.
Yeah, exactly. A massive stick up his ass.
A gigantic metal rod.
What did you think about Esmeralda as a character?
I enjoyed watching Esmeralda on screen. Like
she
was.
Oh yeah,
I bet you did.
Piss off the pair of you. No, what I mean is she wasn't there just for comic relief or just to be a love interest. She had her own story. She had her own character.
No, that is a very good point.
I like that though, because it breaks out of the fact that even though I think it's touching upon themes of her just being a thing of lust for all the men in the movie.
She is just her own person.
Yeah, and she makes her own decisions, and she can do whatever she wants at the end of the day, and that does work quite well.
It's funny when you talk about Aladdin, because it just came to my mind. She reminds me a lot of Jasmine, but not as whiny.
Yeah, actually.
Jasmine's her own person, but Esmeralda, she has a sword fight with Phoebus. She spits on Frollo and elbows him, and she's doing her own shit. She saves Quasi. She's there at the end. She's doing all that. She's getting involved. She's not just people want to have sex with me. Oh my god, it's so hello.
Esmeralda kind of, and good on her, kind of weaponizes her sexuality in most cases, which I really like. Like, she's aware that she's attractive, but she's also aware that that's going to cause some problems with men in this time period, especially. It's even about now, but especially then, where women were seen as objects and things to be desired and nothing else.
Yeah.
Well, witches.
Yeah.
Which is what she's called.
Yeah, you could accuse her of witchcraft. Because how did she do that thing when she disappears? I didn't understand that.
It's magic.
It's magic, man.
I think she supposedly used a smoke bomb and then sent it away.
Yeah, but where'd she get a smoke bomb from? She's not Batman.
She is Batman. Obviously, Esmeralda's Batman confirmed.
Lady lady woman.
Gypsy Batwoman.
Gypsy woman, like Crystal Waters.
But I think that her weaponising her sexuality came across as quite well written, to be honest, in my opinion. Like, I think that was the best way they could have gone about that, actually. Instead of just making it that she was weak and didn't know what to do in that situation.
Well, in the book, she's apparently just hopelessly in love with Phoebus, or whatever his name, Mobius.
Mobius, yeah.
She's just like, oh, well, I'm in love with you, and like, you know...
Well, I don't like that, though. I really don't like that. In a way, I don't even like the fact they get together, to be honest with you.
No, yeah.
I would have preferred if she stayed single, actually.
Yeah.
As a way to be like, you know...
You don't need men.
She doesn't even know that Frollo has a thing. Not Frollo, sorry. That fucking Quasi has a thing for it.
Yeah.
And I would have liked them to have an exchange. I like the fact that Quasi, you know, shows the good side of men, and he turns around and thinks, oh, you know what, I love her enough to let her go. And that is really nice. But also, I would have liked them to have a bit of an exchange where she's like, okay, I think you just care about me because I'm a woman who's given you attention.
Yeah.
And that would have been nice.
Obviously, it is believable for him to be like that because he doesn't know anyone else.
Exactly, and that's what would have been nice. And it would have been a nice way of showing his personality and hers.
Yeah.
Because she's not horrible about children. Oh my god, men!
Well, you're minging, to be fair.
she goes, you disgust me.
She goes, oh god, do you really think we'd get together? Look at you.
You know, and there's and in a way, it would have been nice to have that contrast of, like, you know, her talking to him and letting him down nicely, even though he's, you know, outwardly ugly, but inside he's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then you have the disgusting Frollo,
who's like really old,
who's disgusting inside and out.
Yeah.
And she lets him down in a completely different way because he's going about it in a completely different way.
Oh yeah, god, yeah.
And then Phoebus Mobius chair, yeah, he's having a chat there obviously, and he's having a flirt, but like, he's just conventionally attractive and funny. And
he's just, like I said, he's just the protagonist in any
other
movie.
and he's charming, and I just wish that none of them got the girl, like none of them. That would have been a better theme.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she's not just a lustful object to be had by these men, and it would have been much better if she went off in her own way. And she makes a point of saying, doesn't she, that, you know, gypsies don't do well in stone walls, and she said that herself, and she doesn't like sitting in one place. But then she settles down by the second one and has a kid with Mobius chair.
I suppose, like, it makes you make the point of Quasi being in love with the only person that's shown her affection. She, you know, at the same time, fucking Mobius chair guy, he's the only guy that's probably been nice to her.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he defends her throughout the whole film, really.
Well, he likes her fire, doesn't he? Like, he's attracted to her for the right reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what, actually, I didn't think about that. Obviously, Quasi's attracted to her plainly because she is there.
Yeah.
Frollo, again, just because of her attraction. Nothing else other than the way she looks.
Yeah.
Like, anything like that, he despises everything else about her, actually.
Yeah.
Well, Mobius Chair likes the fire, the ferocity in her, the fact that she doesn't care what people think.
Yeah.
The fact that she is who she is, and that is the end of it.
Do you think it's funny in this film that no one has a French accent that's set in France?
That's just Disney, though, isn't it?
It's Disney, man. They're just magically
but
American.
I'm really happy they didn't do the usual movie thing, and you both know this annoys me, of chucking in a few phrases from the dialect of the region, still talking in a different accent, but like, it's either one or the other. It's one or the other.
Yeah.
I don't like it when they talk English and have a few phrases from the other language.
No, that annoys me as well.
Either speak in that dialect entirely, or speak in English.
Like, obviously, I know some people do that in real life, but that's if they're multilingual.
Bilingual.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah. They're not gonna, that's their way of going. You hear that, audience? We're being true.
We're in France, but they didn't do it in this actually. So, and I give them a pass because on my end, I'm happy they didn't do that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have minded a few French accents though. That would have been nice.
I was thinking that. I was like, well, they did in Beauty and the Beast, and
everything's in French. Like everything written in the movie, like shop corners and things are all written in French, and the books are in French.
Yeah,
they made that much effort. They might as well have.
Yeah,
I don't know, had a few French-speaking characters.
Yeah, exactly.
And the gypsies aren't even French; they're Romanian.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, they're Romani. I think that's something else different entirely.
Oh yes, actually, alright. Sorry.
No, I got confused as well. I think there was a Romani population in France.
So. Yeah, but I don't know. Again, like it feels like Disney are doing a thing when they go, no, we're just gonna kind of pretend we're giving you some sort of like.
Yeah, it's like when they did Aladdin and like Princess and the Frog. It's like, oh, they're from this kind of part of the world. We're not going to specify what country. It's going to be.
It's just over there.
Yeah,
it's because they're scared, though, aren't they, to actually dive into the culture?
But people want that. I think it'd be great.
I think it'd be really nice. You know, they say they're diving into the culture. They want that representation, but they're not really giving it to you. They're giving you the location.
They want
they're giving you the clothing.
They want the tech. The tick in the box.
That's exactly
of
what
doing
they want.
They don't want to actually do it.
And they're doing it a lot now with things. I don't they're kind of hinting towards homosexuality. They haven't quite crossed the border yet, have they?
They just want. Well, they apparently want to, but there's just kind of the Chinese censors and backlash. I think.
Actually, no, you said that. You know, one of the gargoyles, the shorter, like fatter one. I can't remember his name.
Oh, Victor.
Yeah, he's quite in love with the goat.
Yeah.
Like, he's constantly trying to kiss it. He's flirting with it.
Which is weird.
It is weird, but
he's a gargoyle. It's a lad. He's fine. He's a gargoyle.
I suppose it's their way of going like, oh, you know, we're trying to hint to you that we're allowing homosexuals in this.
But he doesn't have genitalia. He doesn't have gender. He's a gargoyle.
I just wish a much better Disney gargoyle would come in, Goliath, and just kill them all.
Iron Keith David.
Yeah. Time is up, motherfucker.
Actually, I don't know if you knew this, but because this was going on the same time, this was being made the same time as Gargoyles, that the guy that was drawing the gargoyles for this movie kept being sent to the office to make sure they didn't look anything like the gargoyles in that movie, and that series and movie.
Oh my god.
So they were like, right, we don't want you to look awesome, they've got to look disgusting.
Yeah, they look stupid.
They've got to have no purpose, they've got to look hideous, and did you make no sort of... it's just pointless.
Yeah, they're gonna have nothing to the film at all.
I really enjoyed I'm not gonna lie, one thing I did laugh at, the only thing I laughed to do with the gargoyles was the Wizard of Oz reference towards the end.
Oh, the Fly By Pretty.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Just the pigeons everywhere.
I would have. It is funny. It is funny.
And she made that joke about she's like, do you ever migrate? No, they don't. Those pigeons don't actually.
No.
They don't actually. So but she sucks on those. You think if she was a gargoyle that's existed for hundreds of years, you'd know that though. You think she would have read a book at some point?
That's a good point. What were they doing before they knew Quasimodo? Because if they made of stone, of course they're going to live for thousands of years. But like, how did no one else find them? How does no one else know they're alive?
Prequel right now then.
Yeah.
The Gargoyles prequel. Maybe they're a member of the Gargoyle team from Gargoyles.
I was going to say, maybe they know Goliath.
Goliath, like, you disgust me. Look at how hideous all three of you are. They're like, oh, quirky joke, yeah.
Maybe he ships them to France. He's like, I've had enough of you.
Get out of my sight.
Yeah.
Come on, get on the computer.
I've got a top mission for you guys. Top mission.
He's like, there's too much comic relief. I can't handle it.
It's got to be serious. He's like, need lightning now.
Right, so this obviously had a musical adaptation in 1999, like the musical of this
like
film
on stage.
Yeah.
They changed a few things, didn't they?
Yes, they did. As I mentioned, Frollo being more human and stuff. I was going to ask, what Disney film would you, animated Disney film, or live action, doesn't matter, what Disney film would you guys like to see on the stage that hasn't already been done?
It hasn't already been done.
Yeah, so like obviously Aladdin, Mary Poppins.
Frank, I think you're going to have to go first on this one, my friend, because I'm a bit stumped, because I'm thinking now what's already come out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think myself now.
I'm going to push it here, just by spitting it out, to be honest, to keep it flowing, but maybe Lilo and Stitch.
Well,
I feel like that could be different. They could do like the cousins and stuff, and Stitch himself on the aliens in the same way they did like their not the exact same way because that would be stealing. Obviously, it was a massive technical feat in Lion King, like a similar way to the way they did all the costumes in Lion King. Yeah, that'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that'd be very cute.
Tell you what, I wouldn't mind seeing Brave.
You know what? Actually, that's because I don't really like Brave. I'll be honest with you,
don't.
But I feel like on stage that would be completely different.
Yeah.
I think that would have been great, actually.
I think you could probably flesh out the characters and stuff more as well, and the story and stuff, give it a couple of songs.
Brave fell apart for me, I'm not going to lie. First act, I was gripped.
Yeah.
I mean, completely gripped. By the second, I completely...
Bear grip?
That was Bear Grip, Bear Grylls. Why can't they just put evil Bear Grylls in there and fault the mother bear?
He turns into a bear.
He fights the bear.
As well.
He's just got massive bear hands.
He's like an even bigger bear.
I am bigger Bear Grylls. Not even a bear. He's just 10-foot Bear Grylls.
Got red eyes.
He's wearing grills. Bited people.
He's got the right to bear arms. He's got a machine gun.
He's the Second Amendment motherfucker. But yeah, Brave lost it for me, and I don't. I'm a bit gutted about that because again I was really engrossed in the first act, and then by the second I just pulled out of it.
I think they went through a lot of development hell as well. They had like a lot of rewrites. I think they changed directors a few times as well.
That's always a bad sign, though, isn't it? Which is why I'm fearing a lot for the new Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah.
Well, look what's happened to the Flash movie. That had like 8 different directors until they finally settled on Andy Muschietti.
And unfortunately, they've still got the same main star.
Well, I think apparently they've had meetings lately, and I think that it's been going well apparently. But I think we should personally let them star in this, and then that is it.
Yeah, I agree.
They are too unpredictable.
Well, apparently he's made an apology. Meetings are going well, and apparently test screening audiences have been very positive. They haven't been this positive, and this is a quote now, haven't been this positive since The Dark Knight.
Oh, they would say that though, wouldn't they? They say that every time a DC film comes out that like is above average reviews.
Yeah.
Let's be realistic about it. And I prefer DC, but let's be honest, I'm not going to suck their cock here.
No.
And like, The Flash is my favourite character, so of course I want to be there like, oh, it's going to be perfect. But no,
I'm scared they're going to stick around.
A film that has been in development hell for like 7 years, had like genuinely like 6 directors, had like 2/3 of reshoots.
Yeah,
it just isn't gonna. The star is almost a real supervillain. It's just not gonna work, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
And maybe we'll talk about this at some point, like properly.
This will probably
why the DC universe failed.
Yeah, that'll warrant his own episode.
Because I feel like that we can't even talk about that really. Because to dive into it, we'll actually need like a full 4 hours of us just untamed chatting bollocks.
Yeah,
as per usual.
I'll tell you another one I'd like to see on like Broadway or stage or something would be Princess and the Frog.
Yes.
You know what? That would be fantastic.
I would.
Actually,
I watched that recently, and I thought
get actual Keith David back.
Yeah, he'd do it.
He's made. We have to pay him if you're talking about it. We have to pay him to say his name. We've said it so many times.
He wants to come. He wants to come on.
He's been doing this like 8 times.
He'll be in more when we do Spawn. That was a joke. We're not watching that. Unless it's the animated.
If he does turn up, he has to wear the Goliath. Outfit though.
What, that's a gargoyle?
He's got to turn up as an actual gargoyle.
He's got to come in as mocap with a green screen.
No, I want him to be in a gargoyle.
He's got a great face to be done. He's like, hello.
Actually, every time we like look at him, he's got to every time we look away, he's got to be in a new character that he's played.
Well, they're all going to be like, hello.
It's got to be. He's the Arbiter from Halo. He's just blatantly a game character sitting in the room with us.
Maybe he comes in like Tombstone. He's got the suit and he just batters all of it.
Hey. Welcome to hell, motherfuckers.
I instruct you in the manners of pain.
Is there anything else you guys want to say about this movie, though, in general? Before we jump off too starkly, we're coming to the end, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, before we jump off too starkly to random things, obviously. Is there anything closing that you guys would like to get off your chest? Because with me, like I said, I wasn't too excited about this episode, plainly because it's not something that I really enjoyed. But I have to give my opinion, because obviously you guys felt somewhat differently to me, at least, anyway.
Yeah. Frog, I'll let you go first.
The only real thing I wanted to say, I should have said this earlier when we were talking about it, but how Notre Dame is actually displayed and animated, it's really almost exact to the actual Notre Dame.
No, I'd love to go there, actually. I'd love to see Notre Dame.
I've been on when I went for a family holiday, and I have to say this absolutely magnificent.
You're going to have to bring photos to us to show us that next time.
I will. Are they called mosaics, is it? They're the glasswork.
The mosaics.
There's a scene in the actual film where the light shines through and it shines onto the floor, and that actually happened, and oh my god, it's breathtaking.
Yeah.
No, you're breathtaking.
Oh, yeah.
You know what, though? We will actually have to go and see that. Just for this episode, actually.
Yeah.
You know what? We're going to Notre Dame. We're going to Betty, and then we're going to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So, Fevin, do you reckon that you're done as well, my friend?
Yeah,
Closing out, though, I think we all share me and Fevin share mostly the same opinion, which is this movie has a lot of good parts, and it fails in a lot of others, doesn't it?
I would say after the song Hellfire, that's when it starts to lose its steam, and I stop caring.
I have a lot more negative things than that, but Frollo is a great point of the movie for me. The animation is great. Soundtrack itself is quite mediocre in my opinion, but again, those are opinions, and that's what generates our conversation.
Yeah, it's not a soundtrack I would go back to a lot, but it's one that I appreciate a lot.
Yeah, you know what? I appreciate what it did for the directors. Obviously, they went on to make the movie they really wanted to make, being Atlantis. Given that, I think that did flop, but they got to do what they wanted to do, and I'm glad that this helped them do that.
Yeah.
So that's what makes me kind of appreciate this movie more. But I think that is us closing out then.
Yeah. Well, thank you. We've been Shamullahcast. We understand you have a choice to listen to 750,000 other podcasts. We thank you for listening to us, and we'll catch you next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, guys.